Hey everybody, it's Vanessa, the Crafty Gemini, and welcome to episode number 148 of my WIP Wednesday weekly live shows. We are already at 148 episodes. Can y'all believe it? Let's take a quick second to make sure that everyone out there can see me and hear me. So in the chat box, whether you're watching us on YouTube or on Facebook, let us know where you are tuning in from. I'm coming to y'all from my home crafting studio here in North Central Florida, where it is already storming and there is a hurricane headed our way, at least in our direction. It keeps inching west of us, but it's so huge that we're for sure going to get some wind and rain here over the next couple of days. Now, let's see who we got tuning in. Hi, Chris, tuning in from Palm Coast. She says we are getting storm ready. The rest of us here are getting storm ready as well. We got Gypsy Rose in the house from New Hampshire. Gloria from Arkansas. Laura from Northern Virginia. Hi, Laura. We got Clarice in the house just south of us in the Villages. I'm sure y'all will feel a little something as well down there. Let's see, So Crafty 1013, that's Janice from Central New York. Hi. Hey Barb, tuning in from San Diego. We got Ladybug from Eugene, Oregon. Good. We got a bunch of friends on here. Charlotte from Alabama's in the house as well. Great. All right. Good deal. So we're going to get started. Today I wanted to kind of keep it short since we do have some storm prep to do still. And it was already raining. Right before I went live, I was like, is the power going to cut off? Are we going to be able to go live? Because with these kind of summer and fall storms here in Florida, you never know what to expect. All right, so, okay, good. So far, that's looking good over there. I decided to keep today's show a little bit short, and I wanted to do somewhat of kind of like a product demo / review just to share something else with y'all. Because I know in recent WIP Wednesday episodes, I've been doing a lot of like product reviews featuring different HTVRONT presses and things like that. And we had been dabbling with a little bit of heat transfer vinyl projects that I cut out with my Cricut. We have been working on those kinds of things. And so I thought, you know what, let me share a different type of transfer that you could do even if you don't have an electronic cutting machine like a Cricut or a Silhouette or a Scan and Cut or whatever. This is actually, and let's go ahead and switch to the over-the-shoulder camera shot here so I can show them what these transfers look like. These are called DTF Transfers, and the company that we order ours from is called Ninja Transfers. I have the link to their site, my affiliate link, in the description box below, both on YouTube and Facebook. And I see the UPS driver is here, so that's good. It stopped raining. My daughter can go out there and get the package. And what else was I going to say? So these are transfers that you basically upload the artwork to Ninja Transfer's website, and then they ship it to you. So if you don't have an electronic cutting machine, or maybe you have one, but you're not super confident with using it, or maybe you're not even well versed in how to make something so that it's multiple colors or multiple layers, which can be a little bit fussy if you're a beginner to using something like a Cricut. This is a great way for you to upload designs that you need. Maybe you're doing a little commission project where you have to make a bunch of t-shirts and that kind of stuff. DTF is direct to film transfers. They're a special type of transfers that companies like Ninja Transfers offer. And so what I did for this one is when they reached out to me to see if I wanted to first try their stuff out, I think it was last year. And so we used it for a couple of our community service stuff that we do, y'all know, with sports jerseys and things like that. So we used a couple of, we started using the DTF transfers and tried it out on a couple different designs. And so I have some that are a little bit more detailed and some that are more basic to kind of run the gamut of what y'all can use it for, just to give you some ideas in case maybe coming up on the holidays, if you have a family reunion coming up, things like that, this would be a way to do it. That's really easy, and all you got to do is press the stuff on. So maybe some of y'all know that we started a little gardening club locally here, and so they're called the Sprout Squad Kids. And so these are some of the little designs that I uploaded on here. Now, this is called a gang sheet, and so if you had multiple designs, or say you were making t-shirts and you needed a design for the front, but then a little design maybe to go on the sleeve here, or something on the pocket of a hoodie, where you're having multiple designs in different sizes, you could basically cram all the designs into this big sheet, okay? And you can see how it's shipped. So this is just an all-white design for the Sprout Squad logo here. And I did a couple different ones. And you can start to see some of that blue and green. The other ones that are on this same sheet are the color one. This says Sprout Squad Kids with the brown, green, and blue logo on it. So big gang sheet, you can cram them in there and you actually end up saving money. You could also print them out just by size. if you know you have a bunch of like t-shirts or shirts that have pockets on the front and you need like those kind of almost 4x4-inch square logos that need to go on the pockets or on the chest area right here over the heart area, then you can order them just by that size in case anybody hasn't tried them before. So what I wanted to do is show you how they work, okay? There's no weeding to be done. So those of you that know about working with heat transfer vinyl and have seen me weed different designs, you know that if you're a beginner to cutting out heat transfer vinyl, if you weed the wrong part, you got to recut it out and redo it again. These types of DTF transfers, they already come like this. So I didn't have to remove anything from the sides. They don't have any stickiness to them and they just roll and they store super easily. So this is going to be one that we're going to do on a t-shirt in a second. But I want to show you a small one first. These little samples came with the sample that I had ordered that Ninja Transfers includes. Is like their little ninja guy logo here. And you can just cut it out and test these little sample pieces on your sample projects, like sample fabrics, I should say. Because you can press these onto anything, any fabric, okay? So cotton, 100% cotton, cotton polyester blend, 100% polyester. So I'm gonna cut one of these little ninja guys out and we are gonna press this guy onto a little zipper pouch. Just like this. And I think I'm going to put the zipper on the left side and I'll probably put this little guy down here. Okay, just as a little sample. So now when it comes to pressing it, let's grab the heat press. And I'm going to be using my HTVRONT Manual Heat Press. I do have a full video review for this that we did on a previous episode of WIP Wednesday. And I did include the link to that episode in the caption and in the video description box so y'all can check it out. So this one swings. And it's called a manual one because manually it doesn't bring itself down like the auto heat press, which I also have a review on by HTVRONT. This is the one that we pull the handle and cinch it down so that it applies the pressure and applies the heat to our project, okay? So this guy, I'm gonna turn it on and you can see that this plugs up via USB. The press itself is plugged into the wall, okay? So it kicks on, I'm gonna hit the power button, and these knobs turn. So I had already had this set. 310 is the temperature that Ninja Transfers tells you to use for DTF transfers for theirs. So I turned it, let's go back, so you can see to 310, and then I'm gonna push that button in, and that sets the temperature. That's telling the heat press, hey, I'm gonna heat up all the way to 310 and then stop heating up, okay? And it'll beep for me when it's ready. And then for the seconds, Ninja Transfers does say 15 seconds. So again, you turn to the left to go down, or in this case, super high up to 999 seconds. And then you turn to the right to go up. And when you're at the time, I put 15 seconds, I just press the button. You can see that the top temperature there, I have mine set to Fahrenheit. You can also set yours to Celsius, depending on where you live and what you use. And you can see that it's already climbing up. So I'm gonna set this aside and wait for that to turn to 310 degrees and we'll hear it beep. And I'm gonna show you how easy it is to apply this. Now, a couple things. Especially if you're used to doing other types of transfers and like heat transfer vinyl, usually instructions will tell us, say if we're doing a t-shirt or a bag or a jersey or a hoodie, whatever, they tell you to put the stuff on here and give it a few seconds of a press just to dry up any moisture that you might have in the fabric that you're now going to apply a transfer to. Ninja Transfers, DTF transfers, you don't need to do that. Okay, so they specifically say don't press the fabric. It doesn't have to be warmed up. It doesn't have to be like pre-dried just to make sure there's no moisture. It won't affect the transfer at all, okay? The other thing is, and I'm saying these things specifically to y'all who watch my WIP Wednesday episodes and you have seen me do different types of transfers like the heat transfer vinyl or sublimation transferring onto fabrics like the same little zip pouch. So for this one, once we press it, we need to let it cool. Okay, so we want to peel this clear carrier sheet off of the design itself once it has cooled down. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that there, and you can even press it right onto this carrier sheet where maybe you have seen in other transfer projects that I've done that I put either a chunk of parchment paper on top or a Teflon sheet of some sort. I still do it out of habit. You know, put the sheet on top, but you could press it without it, and then I'll show you what they tell us to do. Let's check the temperature here. We're up to 242 already, so it just takes a couple minutes to come up to temperature, which I love, because, you know, if you're anything like me and you have a last-minute craft project, you're like, sure, I can make a t-shirt real quick, and then you're like, oh, I got to wait for the heat press to heat up. I have other heat presses that take 15 to 20 minutes to heat up, so those are no fun. These are super, super easy to do, or to heat up quickly so you can get the project going, okay? Oh, Arlene says, I love DTF transfers. They are super fun. Now, one of the things about these transfers, I will say, because specifically on this one, The design is cute. I mean, it looks good. It's the logo that we have, but I can see that it's a little bit grainy here. And that was my fault because I didn't upload at the highest resolution my artwork. So instead of grabbing the right file, I must have grabbed one of the smaller, more compressed ones, okay? Because when I upload the real, like the good ones, like I did for these tiger eyes here, I don't have that issue. So that's just a little reminder to you. And the Ninja Transfer website will tell you, like when you upload your artwork, and this can be artwork, you know, that you create yourself, that you use, that's copyright free stuff that you can get online, you know, whatever artwork you're going to be printing out on here, or like I said earlier, if you're doing like a family reunion and you want to create your own t-shirt logo for the event, for any event, you could just use something free like canva.com. For those of you that maybe don't know about the free graphic and illustration resources out there, try Canva, canva.com. You can do a free account. Okay, this is beeping at me. That means the press has come up to temperature. I was saying you can use Canva to design it and then just download it at the high resolution and then upload it to Ninja Transfers, and you'll have designed and made your own transfers that you don't have to weed, okay? So let's go ahead and try this. Great, so I'm gonna swing this back. We're gonna put this little guy here, and I think I'm going to turn it this way and keep the zipper off the edge. Anybody wanna tell me why they think I'm doing that? We'll see. Amanda says, what do you use to draw your own images? I don't draw my own images. I have a couple of graphic designers on our team that I hire to design different logos and things like that, you know? Otherwise, if it's like just a little graphic image that we're putting on in an email or something, usually my daughter's really good. She's taken a bunch of graphic design classes online, and she'll do those for us. Of course, for pay. You know, that girl got to have her side hustle. All right, so yes, excellent, Tracy. She says, I'm doing this for even pressure because look, this is not fully flat, right? I have a whole zipper here. And so when the press comes down onto it, this is gonna be a little bit higher than the fabric layers are there. And so I'm sharing this with you to hopefully save you some materials, because when you first start doing this, you're like, this is easy. All I need is the designs and a heat press. I can start a whole t-shirt business. Well, if you don't try things out, and you don't anticipate where something can cause an issue, you're gonna be going through a lot of material and wasting it. And of course, that's always one way to learn, right? But because I'm here to show you this, and I've already made the mistake so you don't have to, we're gonna go like this. Okay, so the little ninja guy is going that way. The zipper's off the edge, so when I pull the press down, this is gonna be more even this way, okay? And like I said, it's habit, so I'm just gonna put this little nonstick sheet on top of it. Make sure I didn't move the little guy. All right. So now let's bring this down. And I just pressed down and held the time button because that is counting down the timer to the 15 seconds that I initially set it to. And that way, you know, when this beeps, then I know to lift this up. Because it's manual, this is not going to lift itself up automatically, okay? You have to do it. So now it's beeping. That means my 15 seconds are up. I can disengage the handle. I can swing this off. I can take off my Teflon sheet, and if y'all recall from the last time I used the manual heat press here on the show, I'm gonna swing it back over so that it's still sending the heat down onto the mat and not onto my cutting board so it doesn't bubble up on me, okay? So here's my little Ninja Transfer guy, okay? I'm letting it cool, right? So you always wanna read the manufacturer's instructions because some companies, depending on the type of transfer that it is, will tell you this is a cold pull or a warm pull or a hot pull, meaning either hot, warm, or cold is when you want to pull that transfer sheet off. So Ninja Transfer says just to let it cool like 15 to 30 seconds. So it doesn't have to be cold, but like right now, I'm going to zoom it in a little. It's already like barely warm to the touch. So now we're going to peel the transfer off. And it just pops right off, okay? And look at the detail and the color on this guy. Isn't that cute? And it doesn't feel like anything, like it's super smooth and it's just stuck on there. Isn't that cute? So nice and smooth. Now, there's something else that you can do to it, and the instructions that they give us tell us that we can press it again after you peel off that little, the cover sheet, okay? So it's a little bit shiny. If you wanna leave it shiny, they tell you either cover it with something to protect it and then take it off, and that's just gonna help it like give it another extra little stick so that you have longer lasting transfers on your materials. But if you want to get rid of the shine, we can just press it directly like this. okay, if you want to have a little bit more matte of a finish. So it's up to you whether you want to press it like that or apply the little transfer sheet, which I'm always going to do just in case. But it's I think I'm just going to leave it a couple seconds. It's important to note because the transfers themselves, it says in the instructions, like you can't really mess up the transfer itself by applying too much heat, time, or pressure, which is good to know. That's why it's more beginner friendly, I think, to get started with these kind of little projects, because it's not like you're going to mess up the transfer if you like, oh, it didn't lift up. Let me stick it back. Let me press it again. Let me press it again. You can keep doing that. The part of the project that you have to be considerate of is the fabric that you're pressing. So the transfer itself, like I said, oh my gosh, it feels so smooth. That second press, I feel like it just really sinks it into the fabric. I mean, look, it doesn't affect the stiffness of the fabric at all. You can see how it rolls, right? Because it's not like a heavy design right on top. So smooth, okay? What I was saying was the transfer itself is not going to be affected by too much time, too much heat, or too much pressure. Within reason, they say. Obviously, you're not going to hold it there and leave it and go do a chore for 30 minutes and then come back, right? But you can keep pressing it multiple times if you see that it's kind of cool to the touch. You've tried to lift the transfer sheet off and it won't come off. It means that it either didn't have enough heat, you didn't leave it long enough, or didn't have enough pressure. And you can keep going back. So you have multiple shots. So if you're new to something like this and you order some of these transfers from Ninja Transfers, then you will be able to kind of learn, right? How long do you have to do it for? Maybe the instructions say 310. You tried 310 on your specific press. Maybe you just have like a mini iron or something that you're using. You will start to figure out, okay, for the DTF transfers, how long you need to do it for the tools that you have. And that way, you know, you're learning without having to mess it up, okay? But the fabric itself, be very careful, because if you're using some type of like a polyester mesh that's lightweight and it's 100% poly, if you keep hitting that with heat and you're leaving it for a long time and with pressure, you're not really going to affect the transfer itself, but you're going to melt that fabric, okay? So in these types of transfers, I love it because the transfer, you don't have to worry too much about it. It's super easy. It'll stick to whatever. You can keep pressing it a bunch of times, but you have to be careful with the fabric that you're attaching it or applying it to. Isn't that cute? Okay. So shout out to Ninja Transfers for sending me this little sample. This little sample of just the 4 little Ninja logos just came in when I placed the first order last year. So I was like, I'll just save these for when I do a little demo. Now here's one that they sent me, is another little sample, and this just says Second Annual Johnson Family Reunion. And these are samples that they include so that you can see what types of colors, how many designs and everything. Okay, that is included. Now, I only have the regular ones here, but they have glitter, DTF ones. They have all kinds of cool stuff that y'all can check out, okay? I put my affiliate link to Ninja Transfers in the caption and in the video description box below. So if you want to check it out, you can. They have a bunch of videos. And again, it's just another way for you to like upload different designs that have so much detail. These little tiger eyes have so much detail, so many fine lines. And we're going to do one of these next so that you can see how good it looks once it's applied. Now, this is another little Ninja Guy sample. It just tells you full color art, and you can see the range of colors here, the full rainbow. And then it has super fine detail. So it's super really fine lines, including the little lines that you see in the design up here, and then bright whites. So if you're applying something to a darker fabric and you need a really bright white image or design, it works out great. And I actually ordered some of the white ones that you see in here are with that bright white, okay? All right, so that little guy is done. Let's go ahead. Well, let me do the eye, just cuz. Okay. I'm going to do it on 2. Let me grab one of the little pouches again. Usually I'll have something like this, like a canvas tote bag, just with samples, like when we're testing stuff out, to add it on there. So I want to show you, though, how good it comes out. So I have another little pouch here. We're going to do this little tiger eye. This can go to like a, I don't know, an LSU fan or something. Okay. No eating. Okay. Oh, Diane says tiger eye would go great on my college quilts, right? Look at that. Same thing. Zipper to the left. Let's try it. I'm going to turn the seconds to 15 and just press the button. Okay. The temperature's still held this whole time. Okay. There's still the 310. Still zipper hanging off to the side, the eye going upside down to me because the whole pouch is upside down, right? So we're gonna go like that. This on there, this turn around, cinch it down, press and hold the time so that the timer now starts to count me down from those 15 seconds. When it beeps, you pop up, swing the handle, let it cool. Because the DTF transfers here that I'm showing you require it to be cold, you can do a bunch and just, once they come out, just set them aside and let them all cool and then go in and peel. Okay, so that beeped, this is done, remove that, turn this around, leave this here. Easy peasy, and you could just be cranking stuff out like that, okay? So that little tiger eye, we're gonna let it cool for a little bit, and just like 15, 30 seconds, something like that. And then I'm gonna get started on the t-shirt. Now, these little pouches are polyester because remember, these were sublimation ones, and we did a sublimation project on these in the past. So that's that. But this cotton t-shirt here, this is 100% cotton, okay? And this is probably done right now. So I'm going to, I want to, look at that eye, how crisp it looks. So I just start to peel. And if you were lifting this and you saw that it was coming off of the fabric, you would just put it back down, hit it with some more heat, okay? Just like that. Easy peasy. And let me get y'all a close-up of this because I want you to see the detail. Whoop. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? Inside of the eye, look at all that little detail. So would we be able to do something like this with a Cricut? No. So if you have artwork, a logo, or something that needs to have this level of detail, DTF Transfers is the way to go. Okay, so definitely check out Ninja Transfers. We have been super happy with the stuff. And see, it has a little bit of a sheen, so I am going to put it under the heat press again and just give it another quick press just to help it last a little longer and just like really get it into the fabric. And again, just a few seconds, okay? All right. Yeah, you see, Windless Original says, wow, that detail is really amazing. Absolutely. You wouldn't really, I mean, you would not be able to do something like that with, you know, with a Cricut. There's too many layers going on there. This is like true artwork. It looks like a picture, you know? Look at that. So really, really great quality. There we go. It's a little bit more, I mean, it still has a sheen to it, but a little bit more of a matte finish, and it really, look at that, does not affect the hand. So for those of you that don't really like how heat transfer vinyl, and obviously depending on the brand, it can feel a little bit stiffer on a t-shirt. If you're putting something on the front of a t-shirt and you don't like it to feel like it's a thick transfer on top, DTF Transfers, okay? So check that out. Let's go ahead and scoot this over a little bit so I have more reach to kind of center my t-shirt. We're going to do the Sprout Squad Kids t-shirt here next. So I'm going to line this up. This manual heat press, I did include a coupon code where you can get $20 off. It's a limited time coupon code, but if you did not grab your HTVRONT Manual Heat Press and you want one, definitely check it out. Look at all the area I have here because this swings around 360 degrees. You don't want to twist it around because there's a coil here, right, that's giving it heat, but just know that it does swing to give you full area open here for you to, you know, position your designs. So I'm lining up the center post here with the tag on the back of my shirt. That's a good guide for me visually to see what's the center. I'm trying to get that ribbed neckband part of it off the edge so that, again, similar to how I hung off the zipper on the zip pouch off the edge, this will do the same by raising it up, and we don't want that. Nice and smooth, straight. Okay, that looks good. We're going to put our Ninja Transfer on here, centered, right in line, a couple inches down from the neckline. That looks pretty good to me. Look how cute. And because the design has colors and we have this outline that's like remove background that we did, or my graphic designer did when she designed this logo for me, shout out to you, Patty, the white of the t-shirt is going to show through there so it almost looks like an outline. So it's an awesome, awesome way without me having to think about what I'm weeding and keeping and all that stuff to keep it in the final design, right? And so I'm going to do this one without that cover sheet on top so you guys can see that it'll still work fine. So 310, let's set the seconds to 15. Press, oop, not 10, 15. Press it to set it. I'm going to press this down, and then I'm going to press and hold. Okay, so it's counting down my 15 seconds. And you don't have to freak out if you're doing something like this, like a large design that costs money, right? On a t-shirt that's more expensive than a little pouch. Again, I'm gonna do one, we're gonna wait, see if it's not, if it doesn't lift all the way up, okay? So the timer's off. We're gonna let this cool. And if it doesn't come all the way off, put it right back on. And since we know that the t-shirt's 100% cotton, it's not gonna melt or do anything if I keep applying the heat to it, okay? So we'll be totally fine to spend a couple chances to get your t-shirts just right. So again, that's why I said that these are great for beginners. If you feel like you don't really know what you're doing, but you wanna do some t-shirts, this is a great way to get into it. I know, Winless Original says the no weeding is super appealing. I know. It's like, they're like stickers. You put it on, press it, ta-da, next shirt. Boom, boom, next one. Okay, it's still a little bit warm. I'm trying to get it to cool off a little bit more. Zena's asking me, do I like the auto or the manual press better? I think I talked about this when I did the review for the manual. I do like that the manual has more control in the amount of pressure that I can apply, because the auto one, when it comes down, it just comes down. So if you're doing something thin, or it's not quite applying enough pressure for the specific type of transfer that you're applying, then you can run into issues. I really like the customization that I have with this one, because I can control it. I can tighten up the pressure, I can loosen up the pressure. But if you have like screen print transfers or DTF transfers that you're applying to a bunch of jerseys or t-shirts like we do, and you know that the pressure on the auto one works, I mean, with that one, without having to use my shoulders and keep pulling this down to make 250 or 300 double-sided reversible jerseys, that's a no joke type of project, then I loved using the auto, because you press go, you walk away, I'm setting up the next thing, I'm grabbing the numbers for the next jersey, and it automatically opens, separates, gets off the fabric, right? So they each have their own place. I'm really happy that I actually have both of them, because they both have, their own purpose. Okay, so this is super light, barely warm, and now we can start to pull off. Okay, if I'm pulling like this, and it gets a little sticky because you're peeling it off of this carrier sheet. But as long as I don't see that the letter is lifting up off the fabric itself, then we're good to go. Cute. So now we're going to do it the second press, because remember, the instructions do say once you apply it, let it cool, peel it off, give it another press. You could even put the same carrier sheet back on it, okay? And give it another press right here. I'll just do it for a few seconds. I'm not even going to set the timer. But, oh, that's so smooth. It's hot, but it's so smooth. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? No weeding. I didn't have to, like, if I did something like this on the Cricut, I would have to do, say, one cut out of brown heat transfer vinyl, which would just include this brown letters and the little bit of soil here. That means that out of a whole sheet like this, I would have all the rest of the brown weeded off and wasted to just get this area. And I usually would do it like that if I'm doing multicolored designs, because they need to nestle like one color over the other so that it falls in the right positioning so that they end up where they need to go. So it would be quite wasteful if I tried to do this with heat transfer vinyl and my Cricut, right? Not only would it take a lot longer than this just did, but you'd have a lot of waste, and you would have to have 1, 2, 3, and 4 different colors to get this type of a design. And you would have to obviously know what you're doing, because it's not a beginner project. But with the Ninja transfers, you saw it. It's a sticker. You stick it on the shirt, press it, take it off, press it again. Done. I love that. And look, if I were to fold this, you can see that it's not stiff at all. Do you see that? Look how soft it is. I mean, it's just like, it's weird because it's not like a heat transfer vinyl, but it's not like a sublimation where, the ink is infused into the fabric. It's like right in between those two types of color and design transfer to fabric. I love that. I love the way that the white t-shirt pops around the little shovel and the little plant in the soil, so it makes it look like outlined. Isn't that cute? So yes, that is how DTF, direct-to-film transfers, work. They're super easy, super beginner friendly. I'm back. And I think it's a great way to start, especially if you have to do multiples of something. So for those of you that are thinking maybe holiday shirts, family reunions, things like that, check them out, you know, consider it, upload the artwork, and that way you can get a quote on there, see how much it would cost you to cut out, you know, to do however many you need of them. And I think that would be a great way to get some designs going. Multicolored, any design, any color, you know, you just upload the design and then they mail you out, whether they're sheets or, like I said, a gang sheet. And this turns out to be more economical in the long run because you're cramming them all into a specific length of a sheet. And I think this was 10 feet long. And so I put multiple designs on here. Here's a very, very important tip that I'm going to share with you guys. And let me turn this off because I don't need this on anymore. Very important. If you order it off a roll like this, it comes with this little color strip. It's almost like all the colors, like red, yellow, blue, whatever. This is also on here as the DTF stuff. So if you are going to apply, let's say this square, like this, say I cut this one off the corner and I'm getting ready to apply this to something, make sure that you cut that off. Pretend that it is like a DTF selvage that you do not want in your project, okay? Because how many times have we done that? Where we apply it and we're like, oh, you know, like if we're cutting a bunch of stuff and we end up coming to the edge that has that little print out thing. So just make sure and pay attention that what's on the transfer sheet itself is only the design that you're wanting to put onto your design. Okay, and then notice this one has a white background. I could have uploaded this and put in the instructions, please remove white background, if I wanted it to just be the black part of the logo. They do all that and they have a little box right there. I mean, they make it super easy for you to like get the exact design that you want once you upload the artwork. But I left this one there so that if we're applying it to something dark, we have the black logo, but with a white background. So it's obviously still shows through. Okay, so you could do all of that. Just upload your artwork to Ninja Transfers, and that would be that. Let's see. I'm getting a couple questions here. Let me see. Carla says, could you use painter's tape on the edges to keep the design in place? I wouldn't use painter's tape. I would use the heat safe tape that I use for sublimation. Let me grab it for you just so that you see what it kind of looks like. There's specific tape that the sticky part of it does not leave residue on the fabric when you put it on there. So that's what I would recommend for something like this. But usually when it's such a little design, that's why I didn't bother to put any tape. But this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. It's usually like a yellow or a blue tape. And it's like specific for heat, transferring stuff, for pressing things, for sublimation, for keeping t-shirt designs and stuff in place. So that's what I would use, okay? Heat safe tape that is designed specifically for you to apply heat. And then once it cools, you just take it off and the tape just comes right off, but you don't leave any of that sticky residue on, okay? So yeah, that's a great question, Carla. Let's see. Diana says, so it's like traditional screen print ink. I don't think it's like traditional screen print ink. There's something, I've seen like the videos, it's like some type of powder and then colorant or something. I don't know, because look at the back of the designs. They're all like white, and then whatever the colors are on top on this side. So it's not like the screen print ink per se, but maybe you're saying like the hand of it, once it's finished in the shirt, it feels so light. Like you can feel there's something there, but it's not quite sublimation, right? Like it doesn't feel, because sublimation, you can't feel the design. It's just like the ink went into the fibers of the fabric and it's just part of it. It's like it's dyed. Like if you were to tie-dye something, you get the colors, but you don't feel the actual color, right? This, like you can tell there's something there, but it is so thin. It is nowhere near as thick as heat transfer vinyl. So it really is just a good middle ground to get a ton of color, a ton of detail, and make cute t-shirts and bags and totes and pouches and whatever else. Let's see. Oh, Zena, you're right. She says, I like how you don't have to mirror the image to print it. That's right, because when we do heat transfer vinyl, you have to cut it mirror image too. And you know how that goes. You got a big design, you forget to mirror it, and then you're just like, all that heat transfer vinyl wasted. You got to do it again. Next one, Sherry's asking, do you need a board or something under the press to protect your table? It depends on what type of a table it is on. The cutting mat that I have here is just, it's not a self-healing mat. It's just like a white plastic table. So if I have it on and I leave this open to where the heat is just coming off of it constantly onto here, it will bow a little bit. And then when it cools, it just goes back down flat. So I haven't had an issue with that. If you have one of those smaller table, you know, like a a raised up table that is just like for the press, when you open it, you wouldn't have table to the right of it and it would just be open in the air. That would probably be ideal. Or setting it up on the end of a table so that when you opened it out, there wouldn't be anything underneath it, you know? I think that's part of the appeal of having this 360 swivel thing, is that you can open it to anything. In my case, this is not really where I use this. I have it here now because it's for the video for y'all. But I have my presses on a narrower table where when I open it, it just opens towards the window and there's nothing under it, okay, with the heat. But on this specific table, yes. I mean, but this is my work table. I don't want to have this big old thing on here all the time. All right, let's see. Sherry's asking about the tape dispenser. Ooh, I can't remember what video I linked this to, but I'll go ahead and put my affiliate link to this, to the tape and the dispenser, in the caption of this live, okay, after the show today. I'll do that. Can you remind me to put the tape and the tape dispenser? I'll do that because I did it on another one, on one of the sublimation live shows, because somebody else asked me, but I'll go ahead and add that to that so you can find it there. All right, what type of t-shirt am I using? This t-shirt is the Concert Tee by District. They're nice, they're good t-shirts. A little bit pricier than just your regular, you know, because it's nice and lightweight and it is 100% cotton, but it's called the Concert Tee. So if you order blanks and stuff like that, this is what it is, the Concert Tee by District, okay? And this is an adult small, and I would say it's pretty true to size. Yeah, it's not like the ladies ones, you know, that like a 3XL is like a medium. These are like the regular ones, and that is an adult small because this is like my daughter's size, so that's fine. All right. Yeah, Kathy Ann says, thank you so much for today's video. I have been so confused about DTF. They're great. Like DTF transfers for me, if I need tons of colors in one design, like it's too much where it's not going to make any sense to try and do it myself with a heat transfer vinyl. If you need to do multiples of it, or the design has a lot of detail and a ton of color, y'all already saw those tiger eyes, how we were able to get that wild detail. Okay, that's when I use DTF transfers. And you probably have seen them. I think there's even some crafters that like they order them, say they order them from Ninja Transfers in bulk, and then they probably sell them with different little designs, those pumpkin spice ones or little holiday t-shirts and stuff like that. And when you see a t-shirt that has all those colors, and maybe you have a Cricut and you're thinking, how did they do that? It's probably a DTF transfer, okay? So definitely, I mean, look at the detail on that. I'm obsessed. That's such a great example, I think. The little specks, the little slashes, the way it's like dripping here and kind of cut up. It looks so scrappy. Gorgeous. All right, let's see. Flamingo MN is asking, can I do this with a regular iron? Absolutely. And with a regular iron is actually a great way for a beginner to really get started, because remember I just said you can't really apply too much heat or damage the transfer by constantly going on, right? You can use an iron, press it, let it cool, peel it. If you see it's not coming off, especially if you don't have a like a temperature gun where you can measure the temperature underneath your iron, right? Remember, so they're telling us the instructions 310 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 seconds. If you don't know how hot your iron gets, it's going to be a little, you know, game of heat a little bit, peel a little bit, and see where it's at. If you have a temperature gun, you can check the temperature under, you know, the sole plate of your iron and then adjust it accordingly from there and just press it on, okay? You could do this with any of the little mini presses that I have, or even a regular iron, especially for a bigger design. A bigger iron, you know, would make more sense. But again, you just got to let it cool some before you start trying to peel that carrier sheet away. Okay, but you can absolutely do this with an iron. I've done little ones like that before when I didn't have this one and I didn't want to heat up a huge press. Let's see. I purchased the press after your demo. My husband's watching the video and sees so many possibilities for his artwork and new fishing t-shirts for him and his fishing butts. That's awesome. And that way you don't have to have a mess of heat transfer vinyl or trying to do a little this, little that, right? Like you can order the transfers in bulk, and people can order t-shirts to order. You know, you order the t-shirt, you buy the blank tees, you put them on there, and boom, you got a whole t-shirt business, you know, that you can sell. And then I had pulled up the instructions because there was a couple other things off the Ninja Transfer site that I did want to mention. So we talked about you don't have to pre-press it or pre-iron. There's, you know, to remove a little moisture or anything it doesn't affect. You don't have to do that. 310 degrees for 15 seconds. Remember to let it cool and then you peel it, okay? And then, what was the other thing? It says for we talked about that. After it's done, peel it off, and then the second press. Remember to give it that second final press to really get the design to, it softens it and it increases the durability, it says. Okay, let's see. And then it says when washing, they recommend flipping the shirt inside out to wash on cold and dry using low heat or hang it up. Okay, so that is going to ensure the most longest lasting transfer on your t-shirts. But that's it. I mean, I think it's super simple. And then it says, I had seen somewhere where it said like, and you can store them forever, right? Because they're not gonna peel off, the humidity, the this, the that. I ordered this last year. And I've only used a couple of them and they're like still perfect. So that's what I mean by you can make whatever projects, t-shirts, bags, and stuff like that that you're selling, you can do it to order, right? You don't have to use up the transfers all at once to just use them up because you think they're gonna go bad, okay? And that's it. I mean, it's super simple, basic instructions. And again, you just upload your artwork, make sure it's at the highest resolution possible. And you'll see it on there because I think if you upload something that's too low resolution, the little uploader thing on their website tells you like, hey, this is the resolution is too low, like it's not going to be a good print quality. So that you can use that to gauge it as well. Okay. Sherry says, do you need to remove sizing or not wash with downy or dryer sheets? I don't know about all that. I don't use any of that stuff, so I don't know. But I mean, we're not washing away any of the stuff that's already on the t-shirt because these are just, you know, you order a blank t-shirt, you buy it at your craft store or whatever, you just put the stuff on and it works fine. And we've never had an issue. And that's how we've done all the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shirts and stuff that we've done in the past. Let's see. All right. I think that is it. So that's all I have for y'all, a little demo. We talked about DTF transfers. Remember, I put my affiliate link for Ninja Transfers, which is where I get my DTF transfers from. I think they have free shipping over $75 and they ship super quick. And you upload your own artwork, try it out, check it out, and let me know how you like it. If anybody's doing holiday shirts, let me know. This would be cool for Halloween costumes, parties. Holiday parties, family reunions. I think this is probably the best bet. You know, there's a lot of stuff out there where it's like the family reunion shirts look kind of plain. Like you could tell somebody just had one color on one color of a t-shirt. I think this would be ideal to have something fun, different fonts, maybe the location, whatever it is, right? But you can use a ton of colors. And then these are all the ones that I use just using plain color. I said they also have glitter. So just check around the site. If you use the link in the description box, head on over to ninjatransfers.com and that way y'all can check out everything that they have. They sell like these permanent stickers too. They have a bunch of stuff on there. But for the DTF transfers, this is what I definitely recommend. And these are the ones that I've used and loved in the past year. Okay? So check it out. I hope y'all enjoyed today's demo. If you don't have a heat press, I know somebody said that they went ahead and ordered it. There is a coupon code for this HTVRONT Manual Heat Press where you can save 20 bucks. So check that in the caption and in the description of the video as well. And that's it. For those of you that are in Hurricane Helene's way, make sure that you prep, get all your stuff together, and everybody stay safe. We'll see y'all in the next video. If you are in my Essentials Tote Bag Sew Along, quick reminder, tomorrow's night's live Q&A chat is going to be postponed because I don't know if I will have power and or internet, okay? So I will send everybody in that class a quick email tonight just to give you a heads up to see when we're going to postpone it for, okay? But thanks again, everybody. Thanks for all your great questions. I hope you find some time this week to do something crafty, and I will see you in the next video.